All right, we're back. This is Coffee, Chaos, and ProdSec. I'm Kurt Hendel, Senior Director and Chief Security Architect, the one who threat models before breakfast and calls out checkbox security with no shame. With me, as always, is Cameron Walters, Director of AppSec and Cyber Code Ninja. This is Coffee, Chaos, and ProdSec, real security, no theater. And today, the exploit printer has a name. But before we name it, its name is not Caroline, but Caroline is back. Caroline, tell the people who you are real quick.
Hello, I'm Caroline Wong. I recently wrote a book called the AI Cybersecurity Handbook. Get yours on Amazon. And I also am the Chief Strategy Officer at a company called Xari. We are building an agentic AI workforce for cybersecurity.
Great to be here.
Great to have you back. And it's super interesting what you all are building, but I'll get a preview next week. But before we go into it, before we get into it, smash the smash, 5 stars, like, subscribe, do whatever the platform says. And then check out, we've got Slack, we've got Discord. Cameron, what else we have? We're everywhere
We got
now.
Slack, Discord. We're on a bunch of different platforms. We're on YouTube finally. We're on YouTube. It's been like 3 episodes on YouTube. That's been fun, setting all that up. So yeah, we're everywhere. And then reach out to us on LinkedIn. I love when people reach out and have feedback. Slack and Discord are starting to pop off. If you are in Slack communities, random notice, but there's a lot of impersonations happening out there where people are like, hey, I'm XYZ of XYZ community. Try out this thing. Click on this link. Don't click that link. When somebody's random, just, double check your stuff. Don't trust but verify. Yeah, don't get fished. But yeah, we're talking the printer. Shall we name it?
I think, who wants to say the name?
The
it's
Mythos
all the rage
name?
now. Mythos.
Mythos.
It's all
yes,
about Mythos.
That's what everybody's talking about. It's the big, the bad. Only some people have it. It's so bad that only a few people are allowed to use it.
It's so, isn't it good? I mean, it's good and bad, right? I don't know.
Definitely.
I just spent a couple of days with our friends at Palo Alto and had the privilege of meeting someone that's part of Glasswing, but that's all I can say. I didn't learn any secrets. I'm not part of Glasswing. They wouldn't bring me on the project, but I tried. But here we are. We're talking about Mythos. But before we talk about Mythos, because I'd like to keep interrupting the flow, Cameron, is it Mr. Brown this week?
It's Mr. Brown this week. It is. As always, I think I only have one more left of Mr. Brown, and then I have some other stuff. We got to get back to our normal recording schedule, too. It's the vanilla coffee one. So I wanted to be vanilla today. It is delicious, and I am enjoying it in my Coffee, Chaos, and ProdSec mug.
One of them. Because there's two now. There's two patterns.
Yes. So this is my favorite pattern. That's my favorite one because it's got like the cool symbol on it.
Yeah.
So
I do like the one, but I'm using the other one. Mine's kind of twisted.
Where's my mug? When do I get a mug? I live like so close to you, Kurt.
I'll get you one. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. I have to hand deliver it to the Portland area.
Definitely. Caroline, what are you drinking?
I have not 1, but 2 Celsiuses.
Whoa, 2?
This is going to be like a really intense conversation. And so I need some really intense energy drinks. We've got a sparkling orange and a sparkling kiwi guava. I've also got a cup of
sparkling orange
because I'm a human.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to sleep tonight after 2 of those.
Seriously.
Cool. I've got jujitsu practice. I'm going to work it all out.
I love the jingles.
There's so many jingles.
just been getting tricked out the whole time.
And I love that the noise canceling is trying its hardest to noise cancel it too, because it comes in and out. Kurt, what are you drinking? I know you don't have new beans today.
There's not new beans because I spent a few days away from home. I was traveling. I was in the Bay Area, so I was not trying to crank through the beans in the coffee machine this week. I have my standard cold brew from Stoke, slightly sweet, a little bit of half and half. It's delicious. and it's got less caffeine because it's late in the afternoon. And after that travel, I want to go to bed at a normal time.
Mm, that's fair. That's fair. That's why I went for Mr. Bean or Mr. Brown. They always have less coffee or less caffeine compared to my other one that's like 250. I would not be sleeping. So, but I'm going skating later, so I guess I need the energy. That's kind of the reason I'm having a full cup. So, yeah. Caroline, you looking at how much caffeine it
Yeah, I'm
has?
like so curious. I have absolutely no idea, but I do like sleep. So I'm kind of a
Like,
isn't it ironic? Like I love caffeine and I also love sleep.
It's
But
like
I'm
the theme of today is caffeine chaos and
yes,
ProdSec.
yeah,
yeah,
seriously. All right, so for the first kind of levels, I kind of want to level set the conversation. We have I think a different agenda. Like normal agendas, we have like a huge thing, all the talking points. This one, just a series of questions, and we'll see where we kind of go. But Anthropic dropped Mythos. It's been a couple weeks and it's been out. It was leaked. Well, it was leaked a month before, and they were like, "Yes, we're working on this." Blah blah blah, and then it came out. If it's just marketing, man, their marketing team is crushing it. They deserve every dollar because everybody's talking about them. But we're starting to see some trickles of companies announcing, and that's kind of why we actually didn't. I would say from my side, I didn't push hard to have a Mythos episode like right away, because I wanted to hear more results. And that's the big frustrating thing, I think, out of Claude, a random tangent, random thing, and just event where we're supposed to sell level set, but I'm annoyed. Every time Claude comes out with something, everyone's like, oh my God, Doom. All like the FUD comes out. And then we don't actually see the results for like a month later or months later, or there's all these caveats, and then it doesn't live up, at least how I felt, it doesn't live up to the hype. It's just not what it was. And so now I'm like, all right, I got to ground myself in what's happening. I got to see the results. You got to show me the money. But Cloud Mythos is out. A lot of companies they said they scanned a bunch of vulnerabilities. It's so strong or so good at what it does.
The most powerful model ever.
Yeah, most powerful model ever. It can hack anybody, and it's only going to be given to like a certain amount of companies. Project Glasswing is happening, so there's possibly a bunch of vulnerabilities coming. But the question is, with Cloud Mythos coming out, should we just pack it up? Is security done? Are we done, guys?
absolutely.
We've asked this before. Like, yeah, like this has happened how many times now? It definitely happened with Opus 4.6. It didn't happen with 4.7 because everyone's still talking about Mythos.
Yeah.
But even before then, how many times have we asked this question now? I can't count that high today.
I gotta keep asking it, man. I gotta know when I gotta go be a farmer.
Not yet. Although I don't know. I think there's something to be said about diversifying income streams. So maybe we could be tech people and farmers.
Ooh.
Don't you live on a farm?
I do. My husband may have planted about like 24 fruit trees.
Nice.
We've got a produce garden that is bigger than the square footage of our house. We don't buy produce from the store.
It's amazing.
In spring, summer, and fall. It is very cool. You got to come visit, man. You got to come visit.
That is awesome.
Maybe this summer it's only like a 3.5 hour drive. There's not really a whole lot of excuses to be made there.
No excuses. We've got chickens. You can come hold the chickens, pose with the chickens, eat all the eggs, eat the chickens. We've got a whole thing going on.
Make some animal friends. Go on an animal farm.
Yes.
It's too bad Cameron hasn't moved to Portland yet, or else this could have happened live.
Come on,
someday,
Cameron.
Someday it will happen soon. I promise. Good. I promise.
I digress. Mythos.
Oh yeah, Mythos.
That's why we're here, not the chickens.
That's a future episode when chickens can do security and AI. Then we'll talk about
cyber chickens.
So I have a thought I want to run by you guys, which is: do you think Mythos is unique? Do you honestly think nobody else in the world has the capability that Mythos claims to have?
No, I would say no. I think state actors totally have it.
Absolutely.
Do other folks? I don't know. I think that's one of the cool things I've seen on LinkedIn and places. A lot of people are starting to post. Like I saw something. It was like Open Mythos, and it was like their open source version of Mythos, where they're like trying to build the same architecture. And like that's like that should be the theme of this episode, at least at 100%. I think it will get in that way. Is I think we're all thinking the same way. Is that this is where it's headed, right? This has just been the writing on the wall for a long time. We've all seen it. When we looked at AI SaaS was finding vulnerabilities we nobody knew for a long time, missing all kinds of normal SaaS scanners, and that was like 3 years ago. And now they're just getting better and better, more efficient, way better at false positive rates. And so of course this is where we're headed. Just it makes sense. And then before that, we had AI pen testers. So of course you're gonna have both sides of it. I don't know. If it's somebody shocked by this, you guys gonna need to hop on LinkedIn and research a little more.
And yet, from what we know about the state of vulnerability management and how extremely easy and well that typically goes. I mean, here's right because we should have known this was coming. If we didn't know this was coming, then it's a brutal wake up call. But what is it that the defenders do about it, and how does that go most of the time? Super
Oh,
well, right? We're
Oh,
so good
so
at
well. We're so good at
of
vulnerabilities.
course.
so good at
Well,
vulnerability.
so
Code is, or every software we deliver is pristine.
it's perfect.
Pristine,
It's
absolutely
absolutely
gorgeous.
perfect.
Yep,
It's
yep.
never I've never delivered a vulnerability in my life. Come on now.
Nor any of the software
I've,
companies we work for.
so it makes me wonder, like, why didn't this happen sooner? Like, I know generative AI made it easier, but this we've had this sort of idea that pattern matching to find vulnerabilities like is a thing of the past. Like, why didn't we do this 10 years ago with
Who is
machine
to
learning?
say nation state ABC didn't do this 10 years ago and they just
That's
didn't pay
true.
a marketing team to blow it up?
Mm,
Maybe
We're
that's
just
the
sitting on it.
secret.
yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's how they're getting after. That's how it's all these 0 days are found, and they're just
They're just
exploiting them
releasing them
as
one by one.
Yeah.
Anthropic
Well,
just commercialized it.
and that's the trend that we're talking about, is that yes, nation states have unlimited budgets. Nation states, they are
Yep.
persistent, they have a lot more budget, they're well funded, well staffed, all these different things. But what we're seeing here with Mythos is the writing on the wall that, hey, maybe threat actors like nation states had it. That is shifting to where now mundane cyber criminals can have it, right? Mythos, at least from
Yeah.
my understanding and what we know, I'm trying to stay up to date on everything, but it's supposed to be like a moonshot kind of tool. You give it your code, you give it an app or something, you say hack this thing, and sure, you burn 20,000 tokens and $40,000. You now have exploited that thing, right? It's that supposed to be that simple. It's script kiddie level stuff, and that's why I think they're so scared, and that's why everyone's kind of talking about it, is because before you had to have a level of expertise, you had to have an understanding, right? You had to build these things out and build that whole thing and understand what it's being spit out. And next step you do this, next step you do this. Now it's just, hey, spend a lot of compute, and boom, now I have vulns and payloads and exploits that are all ready to go to hack anybody and everybody.
Oh, and this in Project Glasswing, like it's a very small number of the world's biggest tech companies essentially that have gotten access to it through partnership, and there other companies can request access to it, but it's not being rolled out to everyone for obvious reasons. But I guess the goal is really they want these huge vendors that their technology runs the world to weaponize it against themselves, right? Like,
Yeah.
fix your stuff, prove it. And so, like, it's a double-edged sword. Is they're not only proving it and showing the power of it, but they're actually fixing the problems as they go.
How
It's,
do we
it's
think
really
that's gonna
cool.
go though? Like, are those companies historically known for being able to actually patch their vulnerabilities? Like, what do you guys
Is
think?
anyone?
Yeah, is anyone? I don't know. What I've seen in the last couple months coming out of like Microsoft, look at the patch day on Tuesdays. I was looking at some kind of graph. It's like it's heading towards hockey stick like kind of level. Like we're starting to see a lot more vulnerabilities fixed, or at least announced in the patches. So I think the writing's on the wall for a lot of these companies that are the big companies that are in there, that they're realizing, oh yeah, we should fix all these things. So the Firefox, they released an article. I posted something about that where, like, was it Opus found 22 vulns and Mythos found it's like 180 or 170. I can't remember the number. Yeah, it's like 200 something. Yeah, I can't remember the actual number. Vulns that were valid. So and they're pushing out fixes for all those things too. So I think we're heading towards that people are realizing that you have to fix it, right? And then the big thing that came out of the Cloud Security Alliance was, I thought it was really interesting. I don't know if we want to go straight into that, but that document, did you guys read that document?
I threw it into an AI and asked it to read me the summary.
So you read it. So you read it, right? That's how everybody reads now.
I read it the way that people read in the year 2026.
Yeah, I read something.
Yeah, I mean, like, you read it. Yeah, okay. So I think it was a fascinating document, but the thing that really took away for me was, if you look at the remediation section, I was like, oh, so the stuff we've been doing for 20 years, we just have to do better. Was it surprising?
Way
better. Yeah, like way better.
Are you actually doing vulnerability management? Because now you really need to.
Yeah, it's like you're about to be swimming. I keep calling it a tsunami. Everyone's like, I hear a vulnerability storm, or you're going to be swimming in vulnerability. I'm like, it's a tsunami.
I like tsunami.
It's just going to wipe you out.
Yep.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. That's the one thing, is what's going to happen in like 3 months when these things are all truly being disclosed, and how are companies going to respond to that? I internally, I know I'm raising the flags and the warnings, being like, hey, like, we're not, are we ready for this? If we are, let's document it. Let's process it. Let's get those things together so that if anything comes, we're even better spot, right? Like, those are the key things that I'm really trying to call out, and that I think everybody should be calling out, is documenting your processes, and can you deliver? I mean, there's a great question here, which is the median time to exploit in 2028 or 2018 was 771 days. And today it's technically 4 hours. And a couple weeks ago we saw, what was it? MOAK .ai, Maki or
Moke.
Yeah, Moke, where you can just throw a CV in there, and within an hour or two, you have exploits. I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
So what if we follow this for a little while? What if we pretend that Mythos has the capability to find 99% of all existing vulnerabilities on the planet, and we assume that Glasswing has the members in it that control enough of the big tech companies in the world, and they've actually got buy-in to do vulnerability management. Then what if there's a tsunami followed by, I don't know, what comes after a tsunami, like a plague of locusts? Like, so there's a tsunami of vulnerabilities. And then what if these Glasswing companies are able to, I am an optimist, use AI for good and figure out how to patch this stuff at speed and at scale? Then do we end up at like sort of a calm water situation in like, I don't know if that's supposed to take 2 months or 2 years or 5 years. It's not taking more than 5 years.
Well, what if this falls into the wrong hands along the way, though, too?
Oh my gosh, it's already in the wrong hands, Kurt.
I know.
We
That's
already
the development
established
for like in the last 3 days.
But then why aren't they those people with the wrong hands? Like, shouldn't they just be like doing the bad stuff now if the impending tsunami of vulnerabilities and hopefully tsunami of plague of locusts of remediation is coming in? Like, wouldn't now be the time to strike?
I had spicy thoughts this morning while I was still trying to wake up, waiting to get on a plane, and I was talking to Cameron a bit, because he was like, "You ready for the podcast?" Like, no, dude, I'm sleeping. But we were talking about Mythos, and it was like, well, it's already fallen into the wrong hands, but is that like intentional, or was it actually unauthorized? Like, there's a ton of hype around this right now, and I'm just becoming more skeptical every day. Like, this is a great marketing team. So are they pulling stunts? I don't know.
Well, I mean, we're hearing
whatever they're doing. Great job.
So
They're
I mean,
valid vulns, which is awesome. Like
yeah,
this is a transformation the world needs if it goes where we want it to go, right?
yeah.
To actually find the problems, solve them, because humans can't do this. We just talked about the median time to exploit was over 2 years, and now it's less than half a workday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Humans. I would
Dang
I would
humans.
I would I would way rather get into a Waymo than into, well, I don't know. I don't know. I do,
Just
you know who
bring Mythos and plug it into the Waymo and see
I
what
like?
happens.
I like SFO taxi drivers. I trust an SFO taxi driver, which, for what it's worth, I trust an SFO taxi driver. I trust an SFO like Uber or Lyft driver a little less, but if I'm in the city, I for sure trust a Waymo. Like, that Waymo is not going to have a heart attack on me. That Waymo is not going to have a stroke on me. Like, what are the list of things that could take over a human's body? Like, that Waymo is probably not going to kidnap me.
I don't
Uh,
I was out a
Maybe.
couple like a month ago. I go to the cafe every Sunday and hang out with the same folks because we all are cafe regulars at the same place. And the guy was like, one of the guys was like 45 minutes late. And we were like, where were you? Like, normally you're here like one of the first. And he's like, dude, my Waymo was in an infinite loop. Him and like 6 other Waymos were just going to the same
Whoa.
lights, just nonstop. And he's like, I literally had to jump out of the Waymo and then call a different Waymo. I was like, wait, what? You still called another Waymo? He was like, well, I mean,
Try it again. You mean
It's
one
like-
of those 6 didn't just come get him? Like, make a loop.
right? But him and like 5 other people were going in circles just for like 45 minutes. So I don't know. It will kidnap you.
Maybe that
Yes.
was Mythos at work.
It will kidnap you.
It'll just take you in a square, a traffic square. Imagine that in a roundabout. Like, it's a Mario Kart level.
Oh
at
my
that
gosh, I'd get sick so hard.
Throwing banana peels out the window.
But I mean, maybe they are doing the exploits. Maybe they are doing all these things. And the other side is that exploiting is notoriously always been, I would say, hard. And so maybe the vulns they're finding, because a lot of this technology scans source code and exploits source code and then builds payloads, yes, for runtime, but maybe they are finding more of the mundane stuff. Like, and this is one of the most frustrating things from my side. And I think every time I post about it, I get a lot of folks who post on LinkedIn and they're like, but you don't, like, you don't know if the false positive rate, or you don't know the amount of like just regular findings. And I was like, sure, I don't. 100% nobody does, because they're not releasing anything. But what we do know is that there's a lot of companies, and I'm looking at every SaaS vendor, and every SaaS vendor is reinventing themselves into AI SaaS. And why are they doing that? Because the technology has been essentially proven now. It has the lowest false positive rate. It can find vulnerabilities that in like the OS top 10 that notoriously were never found. And then it's finding a bunch of very creative that took vulnerability researchers, right? And that comes back to the whole vulnerability research, which I wanted to jump into around this, which is vulnerability researchers are all saying their job is like cooked, right? They're dunzos, because these things, vulnerabilities that they would take them like months to find are now being found by, XYZ LLM tool, right? No, but most people don't have Claude, but Opus, right? You could probably build a very close Mythos level thing with some work, and boom, you're off to the races. And now you're finding some very valid vulns. So it's very interesting from that perspective. I'm like, I see a lot of folks that are skeptical, and I'm like, all right, I can agree you can be skeptical, but you've got to prepare for what's coming, because this is the trajectory.
So vulnerability researchers, like, you just kind of walk through. Mythos isn't there. It's not operating autonomously. You have to build something that like knows what to go look for, right? You can't just say like, find me something vulnerable on the internet, and it spends 6 million tokens and
We
robs your
don't know,
bank.
Kurt.
You don't know. It could.
We actually don't know, but what we assume
It
is
would have
that,
happened already if someone truly stole this thing.
human vulnerability researchers, it used to be like cool and hard to be able to come up with chained exploits. It used to be
Yeah,
cool and
it
hard to
takes
be able to find things.
creativity, and
Yeah.
you have non-standard ways of thinking. Like there's a lot of brain power that goes into it, and AI is kind of upending that. But where I was going with that is, as Cameron's talking, like there's still a need for someone to like kind of orchestrate this thing,
Yeah,
whatever. If
interns.
whether it's a swarm, well, yeah, it's gonna get easier, but we don't have unlimited interns either. But then again, everyone's reducing their workforce because of AI. So I guess we'll have a stream of interns.
Well, the intern thing, I would argue that interns to orchestrate Mythos or Mythos like tools is actually putting the workforce on the wrong side. I would argue, even though it's not as sexy as finding vulnerabilities, that we actually need human power on the fixing side.
Mhm.
Because there's just all sorts of like, what is this asset and what version is it and what components does it include and who's the human that's in charge of it and who can actually give me access so that I can fix the code. I mean, all of those things. Like, I don't know if the fix process can be automated or autonomous. How do you say made autonomous in a way that it's relatively easy, it seems, to find vulnerabilities. Fixing is so much harder. It's so much
So much
harder.
harder. Yeah.
It's always been so much harder.
Yeah. It's always been the problem. That's why we all ship code with tons of vulnerabilities. We, regardless if they're first party, third
You don't
party,
say.
yeah, it's everybody. It's everybody ships code. Even if you ship today, like I would tell, like if you ship code today with 0 vulns, that's because you
You're not
don't
looking.
know. Yeah, you don't know the other vulns, right? Your tools only found XYZ, but all the other vulns are still there, right? There's still vulns even if you go to 0 with today's modern technology. It's just that's how it is. But yeah, remediation's always been the massive roadblock because it takes it's easy to find. We've said, and we've had multiple episodes. I mean, we have 2 episodes on vulnerabilities where we just rage to get it because every company is like detect because it's easy to find problems.
Yeah, now
Sitting
I have
down and
50,000
fixing
problems.
them.
What do I do about it?
Yeah, remediation's hard.
It used to be that the frameworks would say you got to go and look for vulnerabilities. And then, like, for a long time, they didn't say,
Looking at
and then
you,
you should
PCI.
probably fix them. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, and then they said, go fix all of them because that's logical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a little risk-based remediation planning. I don't know.
All right. I've been
tore into
debating
that
this.
in those 2 episodes.
We did. But I've been thinking about that, right? For the last 20 years, in the last, I would say 10 years, we've been shifting as a vulnerability management world industry, that risk-based needs to be applied to these vulnerabilities. And then if you drop in Mythos and Mytho-likes LLMs, I really want to call Mythos something else because it needs to be a generic term, like AI exploiters or AI vulnerability detection is what I'm going to call it from here on out, because I'm so tired of saying that, because it's a whole class of problems. Mythos is just one symptom of a bigger issue. But risk reclassification, does that even make sense in a world where AI vulnerability or AI detection tools can chain or detect? They can find and chain. Does it even make sense at that point? Because like a lot of bug bounty programs that friends have that I know, they're like, we always release with 0 criticals and highs, and then we try to burn down as many mediums, but we're still paying out critical high level vulnerabilities because people are chain attacking, right? 5 lows and a couple mediums and boom, you've owned my system. So now I'm paying you the full amount, right? Sure, it takes more work, but with AI and Mythos, it's getting a lot easier now, right? You find all these things and you're like, all right, chain these together and own that company, right? Or own this bug bounty. So does risk reclassification make sense and prioritization?
How do you classify it though? Because if it owns the system, like if that's the goal, isn't it like that's a critical? Like you got to fix all of that.
Yeah.
a change has to happen, in my opinion. One of the fun things that I get to do as an IANS faculty member is I get to meet with security organizations and talk to them about their AI maturity, where they're at, what's going to happen. And out of the probably 100 security teams I've gotten to talk to in the last 3 months or so, something is so common where a security group had the capacity and the bandwidth to do, call it 10 security reviews in a quarter. But then recently, it's not just 10 security reviews, it's 20 or 40 or 50 or 100 or 500. And yet, they still only have so much capacity. And so, if they only had capacity to do 10 reviews, but they've got 500 coming in the door, then somehow you've got to be able to determine of that 500, which are the 10 that deserve human attention. And I think that security people really struggle with that, because what that means is that you've got 490 that are not getting that attention.
Yep.
And security people get very, very nervous. We get so nervous.
It's always the unknown that keeps us up at night. So it makes sense if we can't sit down and remediate that. But that's the bit that I think there's two symptoms there, right? Is that there's an exponential in terms of code being delivered, features because of AI, and engineering teams are getting their budget increase, but security teams are staying stagnant and expecting to meet that same delivery. But I mean, how do you even prioritize that? Like, how would you pick? I don't even know how I'd pick 10 out of 500, because in my brain now I'm sitting here and I just keep thinking about this. I'm like, does prioritization even really matter? Because I like, yes, I could maybe look at reachability. Like we use EPSS, right? We use Kev to know for known exploits. We look for our known exploits or known POCs out there to prioritize it, right? Because that means, oh, the bar is getting lower and lower and easier to exploit. But if we have tools like Mock or God, I gotta remember how to say it. Moke. Yeah, if we have tools like Moke that can you could just throw a CVE in there and boom, now you have a payload and an exploit. From the defender side, that's not publicly disclosed. That's not known, right? So that means I have to, in my brain, I'd be like, okay, I have to assume every CVE is literally a vuln or is like a critical in waiting.
Critical in waiting. I feel like that could be like a band name.
All
like
right,
a cool nerd punk band. Critical in waiting.
You can say that about Moke because it stands for Mother of All Kevs.
Mother of all Kevs, yeah.
Right,
it's a good name. They did a good name.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I don't have an answer, and I've just been toying with that in my head, being like, security researchers are going away because it's easier to be found, or they'll stay the same, but they'll be, maybe they'll be 5 times as effective because they'll have 5 agents finding 5 different vulns, and then they use their expertise to verify and document and disclose those things. So maybe they're way more, but they have the same problem as engineers. They moved away from what they love, and they're now just PR reviewers. Now that's not what anybody likes to do. So there's maybe a lack of visibility or attention to it. But then we have all the tools being built. I don't know if risk reclassification, prioritization even makes sense anymore in the world where we're headed in the next 6 months.
My hope is that if we're going along with this example of 500 and capacity or bandwidth to pay human attention to 10 of them, then I'm hoping we can just sort of sick AI agents on like 400 of them. And then maybe there's going to be 90 in the middle that, I'm not really sure what we do with those.
So I think, the industry keeps evolving, right? Like this is how agentic AI came to be, is people said, you know what? I can have these things work together and solve problems, and like they take on different roles or personalities or whatever it may be, solve different problems because they have different expertise. Or we're seeing more small language models used because you specialize and they can fix things. And now we're talking about, instead of prioritization, the power to actually fix things. So humans can start investing time in fixing things. But is that going to be possible if they're inundated with PR reviews?
Give the PR reviews to the other agents.
At that point, it's like, can't this thing just like turn it loose and let it run? And how do you know when something goes wrong? Like we have a chicken and egg problem.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I mean, it sounds like what, or at least Caroline, what you're kind of saying is that we got to head to a world, because there's two classes that I see of vulns. There's the CVE, so all our supply chain. So staying up to date with the supply chain, that is going to be hard even with AI. You'd have to have a very robust AI pipeline, that can deliver those things. You have to make sure that your pipeline in general is fast. I don't know of fast delivery pipelines for majority of companies. It has to go through proper QA, and then has to go through some stress testing, and then it populates out to a few different customers, and then it goes out to the broader audience. As long as it keeps passing all these different waves, that takes hours, beyond hours, sometimes most of the time days to weeks, to get it out with a level of assurance, depending on the your quality thresholds. And when vulnerabilities can be disclosed in minutes, or the days, and then have payloads generated within hours. So I just don't know how we're going to stay up to date. Even if companies today are all up to date, you should be getting everything up to date as fast as possible, so that when this tsunami comes, you're at least in the best spot to upgrade when they come out.
What about
So
defense in depth? I think that we're aware that fixing your vuln via going through the pipeline process is one way to handle it. But what about any of the other things? Do WAFs work? Can we put other controls in? Can we use access controls? Is it going to be crazy to just like turn stuff off for a little while? I feel like I'm not the defense in depth expert here. I feel like Kurt is.
I do this every day. But so here, I'm going to spin it back on you. Is if the AI, like Mythos or whatever Cameron wants to call it now, like let's create a more fun name for it. We don't have to do it right now. But anyway, if
Vulnerability AI vulnerability finder.
that's too much. I
AI
want like one word.
Vuln Explorer.
AVF.
So I'm
AV.
going to just start calling it the magician.
The
But
Okay.
AI
I
magician.
like I
if
like a good tarot card reference. I'm cool with that.
if it can find these vulnerabilities and it can chain its way through and own a system, don't you think it's going to do the same thing to defenses? It's going to recognize them somehow, because it's going to interrogate them. It's going to defeat one after another after another after another, and now it's taking advantage of multiple chains of vulnerabilities to break down your defenses. So are
Kurt,
we,
you're
are
scaring the
we
children.
doomed?
It's
I'm
me.
I'm
I'm
not
the
trying
children. You're
to.
scaring me.
This is all theory, right? So like this is where access this is why identity has become so important, right? Because you need to control what things have access to. But in the world of phishing, like AI is very good at phishing.
Oh yeah.
Humans are not good at recognizing it. So if you get an identity, guess what? You're going to bypass a bunch of defenses anyway. So we need to get smarter on handling those sorts of weaknesses, but there is no perfect. You're going to constantly run into this, so you need to be able to recognize these things quickly and react quickly. The only thing that can operate at that speed is the exact thing that we're fighting against. It's AI.
Kurt, what about identity? Like, what about?
There's three of them.
I feel like people are thinking about AI and AI security and AI as a tool, but I also see a trend toward people seeing agentic AI as identities and thinking about, because we do treat security for tools and humans differently, right? So arguably an agentic worker is like kind of a tool,
I'm
kind
so
of a
excited for
human.
this. I'm
What?
so
You're
excited for
you're
this.
offending people by calling them tools, Caroline. No, I'm
I
kidding.
mean,
But
you
so Cameron keeps holding up the three because we've gone through the debate on
Mm,
identity. There you go.
it's a
That's the
magician card.
magician.
it's a
It's right
magician card.
there.
Although in this particular deck, it's called the Master of Secrets, which I
Ooh.
literally couldn't have planned this. But I think it's like pretty perfect for this podcast topic.
So we can call it Moss.
Moss.
Master of Secrets.
There you go. It's the Master of Secrets, although that would be a different security problem. Anyway, secrets are part of identities technically, but I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought. But Cameron is all about the three. He's all about the three. So we've talked about this before.
I mean,
one of the
gone
things
full circle.
One of the things that grinds our gears, I say our because Cameron and I have talked about this and ranted about it, is people equating NHI to AI, which is not true. Now, the reason Cameron keeps saying three is because human identity is one class, NHIs are another, but there are two classes of NHI. There are machine identities and there are AI identities. So we've created this new class of identities to associate with agents. And I mean, Cameron and I were just catching up with a vendor where we started talking about how AI identities are actually spanning humans and non-humans, or humans and machines, I should say, because now you have AI acting on behalf of a human, but you also have AI acting autonomously, which it needs its own unique identity.
Yep.
So the ultimate sort of guardrail in security is at the foundation, it's identity. Before, people used to use network perimeters and say, I live in this box. You're not allowed to come in unless you have a valid pass. I will let you in my network. That's gone. And now people say it's identity is the new attack surface. It's not. It's the new perimeter. I'll agree with that. So how do you control what can be done? It's through identity and permissions. But now it's becoming even more complex because AI is non-deterministic, and if you give it permission to do something, don't make it an admin, because then it's going to go pull an Amazon and delete your prod environment or whatever. It was DNS at the end of the day, but still, you have to think about least privilege, put it in a box and say, these are the things you can do. And if you want to do more, because it's going to recognize that it can, ask the question. So I don't think anyone's truly solved how do you allow AI to escalate its privileges safely? Like, we do this to humans all the time because we're slow and we stop and think about it. The AI, it operates in milliseconds or nanoseconds even.
Yep.
Making these decisions. You can't have a human in every loop, or else like AI is not really saving you time. It's just giving an intern a job to click the yes button, and you're gonna break it down because they get tired. Like we talked about this in a past episode too. You get tired of being asked the question, so your default is yes. It's no longer effective at doing anything except creating risk. So where's the balance? I don't have an answer to that question. This is identity is historically, it's hard, it's time consuming. It just got more complex.
I'm just glad that we're finally back to three identities.
It's two until you bring the subclasses, and now it's
took you
three.
A few months to get to my side, but
I've always been on your side.
It was inevitable. So it was inevitable.
Guys,
I'm always on your side.
I have a separate but related question. So I like this, like, are there two identity types? Are there three identity types? I'm team three identity types for what it's worth. But answer me.
Let's just make it four. There's the AI.
No. It has to be three. AI developed code, is that first party code or third party code?
This one drives me bananas. Yeah, it's 1.5. Yeah,
it's in the middle.
Drives me bananas because
here we go.
Like
bananas are here.
Yeah, bananas are here. I was thinking about this from the not even from the security perspective. I've been debating and being like, if I used AI to build XYZ app, do I say I wrote that app? Like,
I think you do.
Is AI a tool at that point? But then if I ask AI to make art, is that my art?
So isn't this part of the terms of service though? If you use the public free version, they own it. But if
Nobody
you pay them,
use the public free version. Come on now.
Well, there are people who do. I'm not
know,
one of them.
But
I'm pretty sure the terms of service say that if you're using the paid version, that you get to own that as yours. But if you use the public one, it's theirs. Like, congratulations, you just gave that company even more IP.
Okay,
this is why we don't use the public free ones.
It's a legal status, just like marriage.
Okay.
You can't marry AI though.
You can't marry. Some people are
You could
trying.
try. You could try.
But like I always think that's funny, right? Because I was thinking the same thing. Like, if code, who made it, who owns it, who's the responsible party of it. But I always think it's funny that if you're like, okay, if I do app, if I do, maybe it writes up like a summary of something, people will say I wrote this summary or I did this, like they kind of take ownership. But then when you throw art, the creative aspect of it, they get a lot more confounded, because art is usually attributed to a human and their creative skill and mind to do that. So I always think for code, I'm like, haven't we been doing the same thing for years? Like, I've seen some elegant code, and then you saw my code and you were like, what was Cameron spaghetti code that he is writing here? Holy smokes, this guy, no, he should not be a developer. It's why I'm not a developer. But I don't know, like if we assume, if you go down the assumption that AI is the owner of the code, doesn't that mean it's the frontier models or whatever models you're using or whatever XYZ responsibility to keep that code 100% secure? But that's not how it goes.
To an entity that doesn't have any money or exist.
Exactly. So then the default is that we need an AI lawyer. It's the human who is using the AI to write that code, and then they have to fix it and they own it. I had this big debate because in the SPVS I had a control, and Farshad was like, you can't have this control. And I was like, why? And he's like, because, or he didn't say I couldn't. We were debating it. And he was just like, I don't understand it because everybody's writing with code. And I was like, that's a fair point. Like, in my brain, when I was writing that control, like 8 or 9 months ago, not everybody was using AI. Now I assume every piece of code that comes across my desk in one way or another has been touched by AI. Like, maybe it's 50% AI. The more tokens
you use, the better performance review you get, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Go out and burn tokens. I'm burning tokens right now. I'm not even a developer.
Token budgets, are those a thing yet?
I think
technically,
I've heard developers
possible that you can do throttling in budgets, but
then you showing up in company line items.
I don't know if I think it is showing up in some company line items. I know a lot of engineers make jokes about it. What was it? NVIDIA's CEO said, if your engineers aren't spending
like 500,000 tokens or something.
Yeah, but it was like double their salary or something in tokens, then your engineers are like, I don't know, in a way, garbage.
Wasting time. Yeah.
Like you should fire them. And it's like, wait, no, like, shouldn't we be spending tokens efficiently? Shouldn't the whole time be efficiently?
Stewards of the tokens.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, if you have money to just melt and vaporize, like, that's cool. I wish I had your budget.
Seriously.
But the reality is most people are facing that problem of, I have a limited amount of money, so you have to use it intelligently, right? Like, this is the same problem when generative AI went mainstream. People are like, if you're not using AI, you're doing it wrong. And you're like, don't use AI just to use AI and say you're using it. Like, use it intelligently and actually solve a problem.
Yeah.
Be more efficient.
You think so highly of humans.
I'm not knocking humans. I'm just knocking the ones that say waste resources. Like, if someone said jump off a cliff or else you're doing it wrong, would you? Like, that's the most primitive example. It's like growing up and they're like, just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean you should do it, right? Can you tell I became a parent?
Yes. So completely pivot. The curl project, you guys heard that a couple months ago or like a year ago, they shut down their bug bounty program because of all the AI slop that was coming in.
Yeah, we talked about that on the FFmpeg episode, didn't we?
That was like 4 months ago or something, right? Curl is now opened it back up, and they're getting amazing findings. And they've come out and said that the AI since then, which has only been a few months, is way better, and they're getting way better findings that are actually valid, which I think lends value or whatever evidence to what we're seeing around Mythos and AI magicians that
Moss.
yeah, Moss,
buddy Moss.
AI Mosses, that we are maturing in a better way, and it is becoming a mainstream thing. And those, I think, the people who are naysayers, I don't know if they're just not seeing the writing on the wall.
That's a really, really cool story. I love that. That's wild. I do think that the pace is pretty crazy. I mean, literally, I wrote this January to September 2025, and then when it was released in March, it was out of date. And I knew intellectually that was going to happen, but to have lived through that, and like obviously nothing about Mythos was known by the public when I put my pencil down.
Caroline's showing her book for the non-video watchers, listeners.
Yeah, she had the sound effect of the pages. Like, there's the audio version of the book right there.
I've thought about that too. There's like, I guess somebody asked me like, hey, like what AI book should I listen or get? And I was like, well, get Caroline's, but also operate under the assumption that book was probably written months beforehand, and AI is changing month to month. So you may have to research some of the things in there because there's probably a good foundation, but whatever maybe be referenced or XYZ has fundamentally changed in a one way or another. I mean, we were talking about the OWASP top 10s. There's 5 OWASP
like
AI.
5 million of them? I had no idea there were so many until I saw your post, and then I was aghast.
6 of them, yeah. And it's crazy how repetitive they are. That's why we created 10 and weirdly agreed without consulting each other.
Okay, so quick shout out. The supply chain chapter is really good. And it's supply chain chapter. If you read 2 chapters in this book, read the deepfake chapter and read the supply chain chapter.
Yeah. Deepfake scares me.
Friend. So. I still need to buy the book.
Terrifying.
That's fair.
I'll trade you a mug for the book. How about that?
I'll trade you and a signed copy of the book is what he wants.
Of course.
Of course. I will give you a signed book as soon as I can get my Coffee, Chaos, and ProdSec mug.
Well, I don't need a signature. I could just FaceTime Caroline and be like, see, I do know her.
True. Yeah. It's true. He has access to my personal cell number.
Caroline, teach me all of the things I need to know on AI. Like, give me the preview of version 2.0.
All right. So as we're coming to a close, I kind of want to do a round table of where do you guys envision Mythos? Where will we be in like 6 months around the magician, and kind of what are you guys expecting? Silence as they process.
I mean, it's kind of hard to expect anything at this point, right? Like, this stuff changes so fast, and it's because we're using the technology as it evolves to accelerate even faster. So like Mythos in 6 months is probably going to be old news, and we're going to be hearing about whatever the next who's Mythos's cousin.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree. I think
that's my prediction. We're going to have the next iteration by then.
Yeah, there will be,
or something.
There will be 1 or 2 or 3 more that come out, and they will be public.
Yeah. Do you guys think
I'm trying to think of a fun name for it right now? That's like a voodoo tiki bad guy, but I can't.
I was thinking, Cthulhu or
I don't know how to pronounce that either, but I like that.
Yeah, there you go. I agree. I can't pronounce it either.
What's the scary? I think it's like a goat that what is it? It's gosh.
Like Narnia? Are we like?
No.
Okay.
We've got, I don't know. I forgot.
We've got the devil. These are all the goats that I know about.
All right. I don't know. I'll think about it. But yes, I think something's coming, right? Do you guys think there'll be a sea of vulnerabilities?
There already
tsunami.
is a sea of vulnerabilities.
Right.
What?
Or even more.
In a sea of
Yeah.
Let's talk about how
we're in a sea.
the pool is full
We're
of
swimming. We're
vulnerabilities.
treading water.
We are drowning in vulnerabilities, and we
I need
have
floaties.
2 decades.
I know how to swim, and I still need floaties for this one.
But do you think there'll be more? Do you think that all this
Absolutely.
that is coming out,
it's never going to end?
There definitely
that it's are we about to go into a hockey stick?
Yeah.
Right?
Haven't we already? Like, I want to see.
No, it's been a steady growth. Yes.
Within the next 6 months, I want to see output from Glasswing. I want to see all the cool stuff that they've done. I want someone to publish what they found, what they fixed, and just like give me pretty pictures, because my attention span has gotten so short in senior leadership that I need pictures. I don't have a lot of time to read, and sometimes the AI reads for me. But I do want to see Glasswing output.
Do we think that Anthropic is going public in the next 6 months? And do we think that's going to have an impact on what happens with the M that shall not be named?
Well, I just saw something that Anthropic has reached the $1 trillion valuation.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I mean, whatever private investors have gotten in there, like, good job, man. I wish I was on that train.
What about you, Cameron?
What about
you haven't told us what you think yet.
I think capabilities of, the magician Moss will be in everybody's hands. Security will be gated by its token spend, its ability to meet whatever is coming. And then I think security is going to be in a very painful spot because of the supply chain aspect of it. I think we're already in a really bad spot with supply chain. We've seen tons of hacks from supply chains. That's only going to increase, right? The Team PCP, I bet we'll see more of them. I was just reading today that Bitwarden, they got looks like it. I haven't checked the full thing, but I'm seeing that they're saying they got compromised from check marks that got compromised. And now Bitwarden is compromised from that direction. So I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, it seems like that's going to increase, especially when this capability gets more and more in everybody's singles hands. We're going to keep seeing this. So supply chain is going to be a nightmare. And I think a lot of companies are going to do one of two things. They're going to get popped and they're going to have a great time with the insurance, or they're going to start spending a ton more money on security. Does that mean people or tools? I don't know, but I think security budgets will go up because we're going to see a sea of companies getting popped.
I like this, Cameron. I want
security. I hope so.
That would be.
I mean,
I'm not. That means we're going to have some fun in the future.
Future job security. Thank you.
Future job security. Yeah, but that's like, I don't know, that's not the most fun part, right? That's just vulnerability management. That's working with your engineering teams. You're just making sure things are upgraded. That's not, it's dirty work, but it's work that's got to get done.
The AI is already taking all the fun jobs. I mean, I think I have this super crazy theory that like AI is going to take all the tech jobs, and then all the brilliant minds in tech are going to have to become high school teachers. And then we'll actually educate the youth.
I wouldn't mind that. That's why I got my master's.
Right? Wouldn't that be freaking cool? Oh my gosh. What if you could get paid?
Cameron's qualified to teach.
What if you could get paid tech company cybersecurity money to teach high school math?
Oh, 1,000 done.
I would totally do it.
I'm gone.
Oh my gosh.
Gone.
This is
I used to love math. It was fun.
High school math is fun.
Yeah.
Like, I was really good at calculus. I would do that one again, but I can't do integrals anymore. I don't know how they work. I know how to secure the world's biggest companies, but I can't do an integral anymore.
Details.
That's why different skill set.
Big bucks in 2035.
Oh, I thought I was still getting paid in cookies, but all right.
All righty. My coffee's empty. I think we've said our piece.
I've got a little left.
I think there's no more that I really want to say. I've said my piece. Stay tuned. I think all of us should just stay tuned and see kind of what happens. Get prepared. I know, read that cloud security document. That was, I think it was good. I gave a lot of good advice, but the advice was funny because it was just, hey, do what we were supposed to be doing, but actually do it
better. Like actually do it.
Just actually do it this time.
What
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
did vulnerability management? What if you fixed a vulnerability once in a while?
Yeah, just get it
What
done.
a crazy concept.
Oof.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's bananas.
It's bananas. So, all right. Kurt, you want to take us out?
Coffee's run dry. Well, I guess thanks everyone for joining us for another fun episode of Coffee Chaos and ProdSec. 5 stars, like, follow, subscribe. I don't know all the words that show up on all these different platforms, but as my good friend Cameron once said, smash the smash. And join us again next week.
Can't do
It's
that
Coffee
one.
Chaos and ProdSec signing off. Take care, everyone.